Harbaugh now heads to the Los Angeles Chargers.
He wins everywhere. He wins, period.
Justin Herbert, he's a crown jewel.
Well, you guys better enjoy this.
Quick snap, Herbert to throw. Has a man, touchdown!
The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin.
Herbert on the move and throws and touchdown.
I was just trying to show off.
We're going to be known as world champions. And we're going to do it or die trying. Don't let the powder blues fool you.
Who's got it better than that?
Oh, Jesus. Hey, folks, welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Bulldog, sitting with my buddy, Kev Huggen-Duggan.
Hi-de-ho.
I was falling asleep there. It was, quiet. It's been a quiet off-season. Yeah, it's been a quiet off-season.
First full week without football. How does it feel?
I don't know. What do I do with my hands?
We're in that weird couple weeks before the combine where there's literally there's nothing to talk about.
Nah.
But here we go.
Let's bring it on, because it just means we're that much closer to the start of the next year. It's a long waiting period, but
that's a glasses half full approach.
Right.
Let's
enjoy the journey. It's not about the destination, folks. It's about the journey of how we get there.
Exactly.
As you can hear, Kyle the Coach Duggan not with us this episode. Just working through something. He'll be back.
Working through something.
Hopefully
and he's okay.
week.
You don't have to message me.
Yeah, he's crying
fine.
out loud, folks. He's not in a car accident. He's not in the hospital. He's not clinging to life. He's fine. Just working through something.
He's fine.
But we've still got stuff to talk about with you, folks, and we've got a Craig experience and an Ask Boltfam lined up for you, so let's waste no time. Start at the top, because rumors. That's all that's going on right now, really. There's no, I think actually tomorrow they can start tagging people. The franchise tags can happen. So we record these on Monday night. Sure enough, something will happen on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But some of the rumors that are flying around, obviously one of those, our big boy Joey Bosa. God, I would love to hold on to him, but there's a very good chance that we won't. And
he needs to take a considerable pay cut for the amount of time he's actually playing football for us. It's just he's great when he's out there and he's healthy. He's okay when he's out there and he's hurt, and he's not good when he's not playing.
Yeah, when he's not there, he doesn't contribute.
We get 2 games a year where he's at top Joey Bosa. So you just can't pay him $30+ million to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it's, if we lose Perriman and Joey, we're out of San Diego Chargers.
It's done. It's over.
Unless they bring Keenan back, just keep bringing.
Oh, that would be great. Just keep bringing people back.
We're not gonna let go. We brought Perriman back. Nope, got to keep at least 2.
Let me see. Kaiser White, what's he up to these days?
Bring him back. Bring him in for an interview.
Well, folks, one of the things of those rumors that involves Joey Bosa is his mama, Cheryl Bosa, posting on her Instagram story a picture of both Joey and Nick, both in 49ers gear. And
she could have put them both in Chargers gear. I don't know why she went 49ers.
Yeah, why'd you have to do that, Cheryl?
Cheryl. I remember Cheryl saying some shit
friends
when he first came to the team all that time ago. You remember, she was getting in the mix a little bit.
She was a shit mixer.
Yeah, she's a shit mixer, and this is
just stirring the pot.
Yeah. It's something I'm preparing myself for. I guess it would be cool to see 2 brothers on each side of the line edge rushing. It happened for maybe 2 games a year where they'd be out there healthy at the same time. But no shade. I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just trying to make a joke, folks. Come on now, laugh it up. But I don't know. These are the rumors that it's that kick. You can't even respond to it. You just get kicked in the nuts. It's all right, well, that looks terrible. I don't want to see Joey in a 49ers jersey.
Yeah. Any color but red, please. But
just not the Chiefs, for frick's sake.
Yeah, hopefully none of these guys end up going to that side. But another rumor, one that we've been talking about here on the Charger Chat as well, is what we're going to do in the wide receiver position. And the big name, the top name on a lot of people's lists, is T. Higgins, and understandably so. But the Cincinnati Bengals rumored plan to use the non-exclusive franchise tag on T. Higgins for a second straight year. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know how they do that with how shitty their defense is. Like they need, I don't know how you keep Chase and him for both $30 million a year players. Like I don't get it.
Mhm.
Like I don't understand how that works. But they're going to do it. So then they have control over a trade is my guess. So that becomes less of a free agent, more of a trade. And then now we're looking at pretty much every wide receiver that would be a great step in wide receiver one is going to be a trade situation. So that's better.
That's interesting. That's an interesting tactic where it's like, I don't want to just lose him and get nothing in return or a comp
Yeah, like
pick.
we might have to pay him $30-something million this year, but
right.
we'll just take the hit this year and our defense is going to suck again. You know, like that's the energy.
Back-to-back rebuild years for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Well,
So I don't know. I want him. That's my number one, but
yeah.
He's going to get tagged. It makes sense.
Yeah. So it's not totally off the table for the Chargers to get T. Higgins, but it certainly, you're going to get somebody that's already got a plan in place, basically a contract in place, as opposed to somebody that's just totally free and like, let's work something out. Let's
Come on
go,
in.
Let's go crazy. Let's go
Are you
wild.
a former Charger? You want to come in here and have an interview? Do we have any former Charger wide receivers that are going to be free agents? Let's talk to them.
Man, let's
Bring 'em in.
let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Well, another rumor that's been popping around again in the wide receiver category, and this is an interesting one because I'm talking about Devontae Adams, and apparently the Chargers are predicted to sign Jets All-Pro wide receiver Devontae Adams in the offseason per Lindsey Theory. Interesting because the Jets have also said Aaron Rodgers not coming back to the Jets,
News.
which was the whole reason why Devontae went to the Jets.
Yeah.
And so now that Rodgers isn't there, there's a very good chance they're going to let Devontae go. Is Devontae a free agent or are they trading him?
I think he would be a free agent.
Okay, so if he's a free agent, yeah, it's again.
They don't bring him back, and so
that would be
maybe it's a cut. I don't really fully know the extent of his contract, but it's somewhere in there. But he had the ability to go do what he wants because he's expensive. So
sure.
It'd probably be cheaper for them just to cut, bring in the new coach, start over fresh. But this is interesting to me because of all the Pop-Tart stuff last year.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember the Pop-Tart gate and all the hate that he was telling the Chargers social media.
Was it really worthy of a gate?
I would consider it
A fence?
Gate adjacent. Yeah. Yeah.
A garden wall.
Pop-Tart fence. But yeah, he told the Chargers social media team to keep his name out of, their mouths.
Yeah.
So, hey. It's going to be tough for those ladies that, go and do all those social media moments in the locker room. I'm curious, the first one, I'm sure they're going to give him a Pop-Tart or something. They'll do something interesting. But I think this would be great. I think he's still got a couple good years left in him, and he would absolutely be a wide receiver one for us. And then Ladd can go to town and do whatever the hell he wants.
Totally. Yeah, there's a Sports Illustrated article by Matthew Schmidt who said during an appearance on SportsCenter, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler revealed that the Jets will probably release the star wide receiver and add that Adams seemed amendable to playing for a West Coast squad. He will have options, and I'm told that he's intrigued by the West Coast, as Fowler said, as transcribed by Bleacher Report. You have teams like the Los Angeles Rams, Los Angeles Chargers, maybe San Francisco 49ers. He's from the West Coast, so it's a possibility he could end up there. Maybe the Packers want to run it back to him as well if they could get involved there.
So this is where it's funny to me, where you get these headlines like Chargers predicted to sign Jets All-Pro for Lindsey Theory. There's no like, some of these headlines make it seem like this is most likely going to happen. It's like not even close.
Yeah.
Like there's so much to be said and done with this situation, but it's an option.
Absolutely. And it's an upgrade. It would just be wild for that to be the case, for him to go from being a Raider to a Jet and now a Charger. And that would be a lot of fun for Justin as well.
There's a lot of Raider fans that aren't, they're not buying a lot of jerseys, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are going to have Adams jerseys and they're going to be forced to wear him to games, and he would be on our team.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sweet.
That would be pretty sweet. Yeah. I mean, you can't wear number 17 though. Seats taken. Mr. Adams. You have to come up with a different number there.
The only question is if he's going to have a Taco Bell in his house at his new place in LA. That's the question.
What would the other option be? In-N-Out?
Chick-fil-A? In-N-Out? That'd be good.
Yeah. It's
PF Chang's. A mini PF Chang's.
Yeah, I'd be curious because, I mean, the Rams, I don't know. The Rams are letting Cooper Kupp go. I don't see that being an option. And the 49ers, I don't know. I mean, Justin Herbert's inarguably the best quarterback on the West Coast right now. So, I mean, if you wanted somebody to throw the ball to you, it would probably be Justin Herbert.
And forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure we have the most cap space out of all those teams. So
as it stands right now, yeah, I don't know what their cap situations are, but I have to think the Chargers are in the lead. I think we're in like top 5 or something like that. So unless the Rams or the 49ers are sneakily have some free cap space, it'd be fun. Yeah, be fun to see.
We'll know more when you guys are listening to this. You're going to find out if he was tagged. We're going to slowly start to get some stuff the next week. We got the combine, and then it starts to slowly. It's like the choo-choo train takes a week off, and then it's just like slowly getting up to speed.
Right, we're in the all aboard mode right now.
Exactly.
So
Casey Jr. style.
That's right. Well, folks, you can get all aboard on our patreon.com/Charger Chat. Check out all the fun, silly videos we got going on over there. We've got tons of different tiers, and if you join at the $10 tier, you get one of these sweet-ass little patches. Hey, guys, it's me, Kyle. Don't worry about me. I'm just working through something right now. Bye, woo! But yes, patreon.com/Charger Chat. And if you don't want to go over there, it's totally fine. You can go on over to our regular website, chargerchat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we got over there. T-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chat tiers in the members section and ask questions and Ask Boltfam. So go check out chargerchat.com. And folks, if you are watching us on YouTube, it would mean the world to us if you would just hit that subscribe button, please. I don't want to cry in front of you. I mean, let me say what you want. Let me do it. Hit that subscribe button, please, if you are watching us on YouTube. We love you guys, and we really appreciate all the new subscribers. What are we up to now? I haven't even checked recently.
Nice.
We're sitting over the 5K mark. I know that much.
Yeah, we're comfortably just tiptoed over the 5.
I know. I'm so happy with that. And it's all because of you guys. So thank you guys so much for subscribing to us. We greatly appreciate it. And now, folks, it's time to go on to the next segment. You know him. You love him. It's a Greg experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh.
Greg experience.
Hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
Boltfam, what up? First and foremost, apologies, as your boy has been on the shelf for probably the last 2.5 weeks, I want to say. But I've just been pushing through like the mother of all flu bugs. It took a ton out of me, let me tell you that. I would not wish what I was dealing with on my worst enemy. Well, maybe aside from like Raiders fans. But, you know, I'm going to say, I think I'm about like 80% back. Just give me like another week and we should be completely good to go. But other than that, on to more important things. We're in the off season. And, oh, hey, Philadelphia Eagles, thank you for doing God's work. You have no idea how much Chargers fans appreciate you. But yeah, we've got what? Combine coming up in a couple of weeks, then free agency, and then it'll be draft season before you know it. So let's talk about a few things that are on the horizon, maybe a few names that have been linked to the Chargers and my personal thoughts on those. So without further ado, CC gang, the biggest of salutes into the rest of the Bolt fam. What is going on? It's your guy Craig in Texas, and welcome to this newest edition of the TCE. Let's get to it. All right. Got to preface this by first saying that I have no intentions on being a Debbie Downer here, but we have to take a 30,000-foot view of the Chargers' current situation where this roster is concerned and look at everything, because I know that the excitement surrounding the Chargers' current cap space situation is all the conversation, and how it can be even more space if they were to let go of Joey Bosa and Trey Pipkins. Get all that. Awesome. But the truth of the matter is they still have to sift through like 30 internal free agents to determine who they want to bring back. They need to address the interior of the offensive line and find guys that are more adept at blocking in a gap and power scheme in the run game, and that can also protect on the interior as well for Justin Herbert. But it seems to be that the majority of the conversation, and very well should be, surrounding getting Herbert more weapons on the outside. Specifically at wide receiver, because if your name isn't Ladd McConkey, you're not putting fear in mostly anyone, to be completely honest with you. And QJ made some strides this year, but some of the things that were criticisms of his dating all the way back to his college days still reared their ugly head. So with that being said, there are some names at the wide receiver position that have been associated with the Chargers in the rumor mill. So let's talk about a few of them. Why not? Let's just kick this thing off with the number one wide receiver hitting the free agency market in T. Higgins. Now, this is also predicated on whether or not the Bengals choose to franchise tag him. But if he does hit the market, we're talking about a dude who's going to command an APY of about 30 mil per. Now, my question here is whether or not Joe Ortiz is going to bring the mentality of the Baltimore Ravens over to the Chargers. Now, this also kind of falls in line with Jim Harbaugh as well, but there wasn't really a tendency to pay wide receivers at this clip with the Ravens. They spend that bread on edge rushers, interior guys, even linebackers, not necessarily wide receivers. That mentality could change with the Chargers, but it's going to be a wait and see on that one for me. Now, here's a couple things about T that we should probably discuss a little bit more in depth. He did benefit from playing across from the best wide receiver in the NFL this year in Jamar Chase. Now, can he be the prototypical number one? I mean, in LA, he would have Ladd McConkey, of course, but he would technically go from being the Robin with the Bengals to the Batman with the Chargers. He's also not like the most consistent downfield contested catch receiver of the ball that you may expect from him. I mean, he has the tools, like he's flashed it, but it's not as consistent as you would think from a player of his caliber, specifically of his stature. And lastly, but really most importantly, is the question of availability. I mean, T's missed, 10 games the past 2 seasons due to injury, so it's something else to keep in mind. And next up on the list of wide receiver names that have been linked to the Chargers, DK Metcalf. And in order for the Chargers to acquire DK, probably would have to come via a trade. The Seahawks are currently bottom 5 going into the offseason in cap space. They're like 13 mil over, so they're going to have to do some maneuvering one way or the other. And as far as the connections are concerned, you guys may have seen Deion Henley working out with DK here this offseason, so there's that. But also, he'd be reuniting with Sanjay Lal, who was his wide receiver coach in Seattle for what was his best statistical year of his professional career to this point. And look, I get it. People look at DK, dude is a physical freak. At 6'3", 230 pounds, he runs like the wind. But he also isn't a fantastic contested catch receiver. And couple that with his lack of consistency creating separation as a route runner, you see where his limitations lie. But his ability to basically screen past defenders at the third level would absolutely allow the Chargers to finally take the governor off of Justin Herbert's M80 of an arm. So one to keep an eye on. Just keeping it a buck with y'all. The next one is not one that I'm excited about at all. And I really don't see happening. And if it were to, I would honestly be shocked. And that is Tyreek Hill. The dude basically ended his season with the Dolphins saying that he wouldn't be back. I mean, although he's still under contract. Now, trading him is also like the only viable option because cutting him would mean anywhere from like 40 to 55 mil in dead money, depending on when they did it. Okay, I get it. Arguably, he's the most explosive player to enter the NFL in at least over the last decade. Now, that said, he has proven to be as volatile off the field as he is dynamic on it. I mean, the dude has had multiple personal issues that have been made very public. And really and truly, depending on your moral compass, some of the stuff is completely inexcusable. This isn't just one of those, he isn't a Boy Scout dudes. Hill comes with legitimate risks, not to mention what he could do to a locker room if he's not kept happy. So for me, this one would be a hard pass. Last up, it's going to be Devontae Adams. Now, talk about a potential full circle moment. I mean, the Chargers social media team would go from being his arch nemesis to becoming one of his biggest cheerleaders. Life comes at you fast, I guess. Anyway, Adams is due nearly like 40 mil from the Jets next season, and ain't no way they're forking over that kind of bread. So all signs point to him being released, especially since Aaron Rodgers is on his way out as well. He has indicated wanting to play on the West Coast again. And by process of elimination, at least to me, the Chargers appear to be near the top of that list because I can't see him returning to Vegas, unless Rodgers goes there. But even then, that would be a really weird reunion. Then there are the Rams, who are rumored to be shopping Matthew Stafford. So what would their quarterback situation look like? And while the 49ers aren't exactly cap strapped at over $40 million in space, having to pay Adams on like a short-term deal with an APY in probably the low to mid 20 mil range doesn't seem feasible. And look, the dude may not be what he once was in his prime, but keep this in mind. In just 14 games last year, he managed 85 receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving, and had 8 TDs. All this at 32 years old. And then the cherry on top is he's still a very good contested catch receiver at both the intermediate and deep portions of the field. So the attention he would draw would make for some favorable one-on-one matchups for Ladd McConkey and, please God, whichever rookie receiving tight end they would hopefully draft as well. And, I mean, there's still an option to draft like a developmental X receiver in the 3rd and 4th round. There are some good ones that I've got my eyes on, by the way. And like you can groom them to replace Adams in 1 to 2 years. So with all that said, you can kind of guess at the direction I'm leaning in here. So I'm not saying, but I'm kind of saying, But anyway, as I mentioned before, we've got the combine in less than 2 weeks. Then there's free agency that will be here faster than you think, followed up by the draft. So strap in, folks. This may be the most fun we've had as Chargers fans in quite some time. Well, since the Harbaugh hiring, but you get where I'm coming from. Until the next time, y'all know who it is. It's Mr. TOP_FLYT3 over on Twitter. And you can catch me as a co-host on the Lightning Round podcast. We'll have content coming throughout the offseason there as well. And so, again, until the next time, I'll see y'all later. Okay? Love you. Bye.
Well, there you go, folks. Another killer Craig experience. Craig, thank you so much for breaking down the wide receivers. We were just talking about Devontae Adams and how snug of a fit that might be with the Chargers, and I like that.
Snug, yeah. I also like the Robin to Batman. That's a great way to look at that.
Perfect. Craig is
Chef's
a
kiss.
wordsmith when it comes to describing situations like that. Yes, and I mean, does he have the health concerns? Yes. Do I don't know what his health concerns are, so I can't really speak to that. But I mean, just in my knowledge is more just from watching us play him this last season, and
a pain in the ass.
He was a pain in the ass, and it was fun to watch. And I mean, I'm sure he's learned some stuff with Jamar Chase as well. So I mean, I don't know. I think the T. Higgins one is still exciting. I'm happy that it's not like a totally off the table situation. Like it could just become in the form of a trade. But
I think I'd probably be T. Higgins to Devontae. It'd be 2.
Yeah.
And then I know he doesn't like Tyreek Hill, but dude,
I would still be wild.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Like, get in there. We got to reform you. We got to get your head out of your ass. Let's figure this out. Tyreek, come on now.
He's kind of nearing that part of his career where he could just probably retire and be fine.
Well, no, not the way he's making babies. That guy's, he's got to be playing wide receiver into his 50s. These kids aren't cheap, dude.
They don't pay for themselves. Is
No,
what you're saying.
you can only do that if you're Elon Musk. You're knocking out babies. You're not an NFL wide receiver or a modest man with 4 kids in Missouri.
Yeah, if he moved to Missouri, he'd probably be okay.
Yeah,
he can set himself up a living or something.
Quality of life. Yeah.
Well, Craig, thank you so much. Hope you're feeling better, dude. Sorry you got the flu there, and hopefully you're working through it. But now, folks, it's time to go to what is probably a record-breaking
shortest
Ask Boltfam ever.
So you guys, hey, Kyle needed a little break, and you guys needed a little
clearly
break.
You guys needed a break too, which is fine.
That works for us.
Yeah, nothing going on.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hey, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Bosa hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated. Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy. That's right, folks. Time for Ask Boltfam, and we start at the top with Andrew Ramsey.
Andrew,
who asked the question.
Kyle the Coach Duggan, you are the little engine that keeps on chugging. So I bow out and look to give you one big hugging. You will always put the itch in my twitch, the source of knowledge that makes me rich. Hopefully a future brother that I will never ditch. It's getting a little sappy, but I hope this makes you happy. Let me take one more shot because you know I like to make it hot. I will forever be your Achilles heel. Tell me, how does that make you feel? But right here, right now, let's make a deal. You will coordinate one game this season to meet you in person so our feuds will no longer worsen. Maybe in KC where the Red Seas will part, or in Nashville where we can pull it down and let out a Music City fart. Tell me, Kyle, was this ode to you pretty cool? I need my answer now because I pity you, you fool. Now for the real question. I'm not sure Loveland will be there when we draft. That being said, which scenario would you like? Trade up for Loveland, draft tight end in the second round, trade for Kyle Pitts if it was an option over signing T. Higgins, or eat an Uncrustable daily. K, love you. What is that? Is that a Swedish meatball? Ah!
All right. Well, for those of you that were wondering what was guiding that, Andrew requested a sexy spider getting his ass sawed off by an angry Swedish meatball.
That's a place you got to go to, man. That's some like improv level.
It took me a minute.
No,
and I don't know that I necessarily hit it, but
well, it rhymes.
You know what? That was my version.
That was good.
So
that was a good script too. Well done, Andrew.
Yeah. I'm sorry Kyle wasn't here to hear it.
He tips out on you so hard, dude.
So I'll be sure to send him a clip so he can at least react for you. But
I think the easiest way for you to get to see the coach is to come to a game in LA. Like you need to come to a game in LA.
Yeah,
that solves all the problems.
That's the answer right there, Mr.
Getting
Ramsey.
Kyle to break away is harder than most people.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of the kids.
He's working through stuff. So, yeah, come out to LA, Ramsey. We'll have a great old time.
Oh, dude.
But as far as your question, which scenario would we like? Trade up for Loveland, draft a tight end in the second round, trade for Kyle Pitts if it was an option over signing T. Higgins, or eat an Uncrustable daily. Don't tempt a fat guy with a daily Uncrustable because that might take priority.
I don't know if trading up for Loveland. I think he's gonna be there, dude. I think he would be there when we're gonna draft.
Yeah.
And if he's not, there's gonna be some other names like maybe a dude from Boise that you know something about.
Uh-huh.
Like I feel comfortable sitting at 22 and seeing like who's gonna drop.
Totally.
There. I don't think I'm trading up for Loveland, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing as much as some of the other people are that are breaking him down and watching him. Everyone's comparing him to a Kelsey-esque player that has pretty good route tree and is like very instinctive in that way. He's not like the power tight end. So I don't know. I'm kind of I guess my option is eat an Uncrustable daily out of all these. Because I want T. Higgins or draft tight end in the second round. I think that's probably more the move than I'd rather have T. Higgins in a later round tight end.
Totally. I think I don't Kyle Pitts, I feel like has not been like lived up to the hype.
But I think that might be situational.
Like, and that very well could be. I don't want to put that down on Pitts, but I just like I remember that draft being like, oh man, we need Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
And like between then and now, it's been like, is he even still in the league? Is he even still playing? Like
I had him on fantasy.
I know he is, but
I had him on fantasy last year and he just disappears.
Yeah. So
it disappears. I don't know if that's scheme. I don't know if that's quarterback play because they were kind of all over the place, but we know Justin loves his tight ends. and even guys that aren't like the biggest pass catching tight ends, he goes to them because he just loves tight ends. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's something we need to address.
But I'm with you. I'm all for staying at our spot because without fail, every draft year, you could probably predict the first maybe 5 or 10, but then after that, things go crazy. Names start falling that you don't expect to fall, and like there's going to be a sweet little gem, I think, for the Chargers come the 22nd pick, and I don't know if it's going to be running back, tight end, O-line. I have no idea. But I feel like the right person is going to fall to the Chargers at pick 22.
And I think if we're going to trade up, it's probably going to be in the second round to maybe get up into like that top 35.
Absolutely.
Pick.
Yeah.
I think that's probably more like kind of what they did last year where they kind of jumped up a handful of spots to go get Ladidi McConkey. I think that's more likely than jumping ahead in the first round.
Totally.
In terms of not giving up too much. They still want to, clearly this staff is able to build through the draft. So I am ready and, with arms wide open, creed me, baby, whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah. And if we end up getting Loveland in 22, sounds great.
I'd Loveland. I would love Loveland at 22. That's a tongue twister.
I'd Loveland.
I'd Loveland at 22.
I love Land. All right. Well, there you go.
We'll let Kyle know you called.
Yeah. We'll drop your message off for you. Thank you, Mr. Ramsey, for asking the question. Let's go on to Marco DeLeo, who asked the question.
Hey, guys. Miss y'all. So, my question, what are the moves our beloved Chargers can make that would truly and finally bring us a long-awaited Super Bowl this fan base has waited way too long for? I don't want to be like Dad who passed away, never seeing his dream coming true for him. Killer, bye.
The eternal question. Will I be alive when the Chargers win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Dude, it's so hard to frickin' say. Like, I think where we're at right now, it's hard to say because this offense and this defense, there's so many free agents. They're going to reshape this team somehow. I think as long as we have Justin and we can give him time and give him a couple weapons, we'll be able to put up points. And then it'll just be like, how much did we spend on offense versus how much do we have on defense? So I don't have a great question because I've fumbled with this for 33 years, 34 years. Still got jack shit. I got nothing for you. I don't know. What do you think?
To me, and I think the great thing about whatever the move is that this team needs to make, I feel like they're already doing it. Because I think if you see how the Kansas City Chiefs lost in this last game, it was a battle in the trenches. And we know that that is a primary focus for Harbaugh and Ortiz. So they're building the O-line. Their defense being led by Jesse Minter. Like we know that that's where the priority needs to be focused. And to what you're saying, it's like, these pieces, we don't know if they're going to be here. We don't know if Jared Tartt's going to be here. We don't know if Poona Ford's going to be here. We don't even know if Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa is going to be here. So I think that needs to be figured out as far as like what we need to do. But they're already focused on this is a battle in the trenches. So we need to solidify those pieces. And if we can draft accordingly around that and for that, I think we're going to have success.
Well, and I think you just made me think of like, I think we've always had great players, right? We've always had great players.
On paper, we've had great players.
We've had great teams, but the system might be the system. You know what I mean? Like, and when you have a great system and you have great coaches, you don't need the top end everything to make a team work. So I think what I'm excited about, what I think is more clear than ever, is the fact that we have a system and a coaching staff that can get us there. And it's not just reliant on players covering up for bad coaching decisions, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? Like, that's strong. And then we're just going to bring in the right players, not the best players, the right players, the right players to take us there. And I think we're one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break for Super Bowl.
Well, everything you say to me, Kevin, makes sense. Marco DeLeo, thank you for asking the question. And let's move on now to Athir Kadir, who asked the question.
Judge and Chad, my lovely brothers and my lovely and awesome Bolt fam, baby. In free agency, aside from the big name wide receiver in Higgins, who would you rather, baby? Trade for DK Metcalf or sign Chris Godwin or Devontae Adams, baby? Second, which defensive player would you love to get as a free agent, baby? I'm going first. Give me DK and Milton, my boy defensive tackle from the Eagles, baby. We start as always with my lovely Coach Kyle, followed by my handsome-looking and intelligent Kevin, LOL. Aww. And if we finish with my heart, my life, my baby forever, Wolldog, let's go! Bold prediction, Chargers offense will be top 3 in the NFL this coming season, baby. Okay, love you, bye, baby!
Look at that. Look at that. Handsome,
you sure know
intelligent.
how to build a person up, Athir. I'm feeling like I'm walking on a cloud right now.
Catch more flies with honey, Athir. I can tell you that.
Consider me stuck.
All right. Well, free agency is the talk of the town right now. So, first part, aside from Higgins, would you rather trade for DK Metcalf or sign Chris Godwin or Devontae Adams? Chris Godwin's another name that has not really been floating around for the Chargers, but that could be sneaky.
Any wide receiver that's decent right now is good. Somebody's going to connect to the Chargers.
Yeah, because we need them.
If we can't get T. Higgins, I want Devontae Adams. I think that makes the most sense at this moment. I think he's still got a couple really good years on him. Like you said, he had over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns, and he was between 2 teams. Like that's like somebody would be like killing it if they were on one team and did that, but he kind of split it. It's still Devontae Adams, man.
Yeah.
So get him with an elite quarterback, which he hasn't had in the last couple of years. Like even when he was playing with Aaron, he's not playing with an elite Aaron anymore.
Right.
Like the last time he played with an elite quarterback was Aaron Rodgers in his prime in Green Bay. So other than that, he's been, you know, you have to bleep this, fumble around with Carr and whoever the Raiders threw out there at quarterback. Mm-hmm. So get him with Justin. I think that's a next level shit right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would have to agree. In my opinion, I would much rather sign a free agent as opposed to making a trade. You know, right now especially with like the roster that we have right now. I mean, Craig mentioned it. We've got like 30 guys. We got to figure out, like, are they worth re-signing? Like 30 free agents that are just like, okay, do we keep you or do we let you go?
Yeah. And there's a lot of guys too that you have to wait to see what the guys above them in the pecking order get.
Absolutely.
And then that affects them. So I think we're going to be waiting a minute to find out where those guys, if they stick with us or go somewhere else.
Totally. So, I mean, to me, whatever means that we have to give out the less, because especially with the draft as well, like we've got some draft picks that we could potentially add to a trade deal, but considering how this last draft went,
keep them all, baby.
Keep them all. Yeah. And let's just sign somebody. Let's get a deal worked out. Joe Ortiz, let the chef cook and let him figure something out. So I would say either Chris Godwin or Devontae Adams, but I would lean more heavily towards Devontae Adams.
Same.
So there you go. And then the second question, which defensive player would you love to get as a free agent?
This is a trick question. Technically, I'm going to answer it without answering it. I think it's Khalil Mack. He's a free agent, and I want him back. That's my answer. That's the free agent I want.
For sure. And I can already feel Athir is ripping his hair out going, like, that's
Kevin,
not what I meant, baby.
Answer, but I appreciate you calling me handsome and intelligent, and thank you.
I'm going to give you a 1A and a 1B. And the 1A, I'm only going to say this because the name popped up on the free agency, and I was like, is there any chance that he is related to so-and-so? And sure enough, he is. And now I'm not saying that this is the greatest player by any stretch.
I'm intrigued. You're just going for the name.
I know. I'm building up, baby. Okay. So this isn't necessarily the biggest name by any stretch. And if I look at his stats, it's like, okay, well, clearly they've not played in very many games. So, but we all know it's the right person for the right scheme. And when you've got leadership like Jim Harbaugh, anything is possible.
Oh my God. Come on. Tell me.
I'm talking about Marlon Tuipulotu, defensive tackle. Can you imagine Marlon and Tuli?
Are they cousins or something?
I think they're brothers, actually.
Shut the front door.
Let me double check here. Cool. I thought I looked it up.
Joey goes to the Niners, and we bring in a Tuipulotu. We have brothers on the line. There's no way that's real. Is he older or younger?
Thule is related to Marlon. Thule is Marlon's younger brother.
So the older brother and the younger brother. So we give away an older brother and get in a older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly who I want. I changed my answer. Cleo, I love you, but this has got to happen.
So, I mean, Marlon Tuipulotu would be pretty fun to see playing alongside Thule. He's currently with the Chiefs, but he wasn't signed by the Chiefs. He wasn't drafted by them. He was drafted by the Eagles. But he just hasn't played in very many games. So I don't know what his situation is. Maybe he, broke a vertebrae and he hasn't played very much. I have no idea. But it would just be fun to see.
Warrior.
Yeah. And to see both of them do a T would be amazing. But a real
great answer. That was fun. That's what the Charger chat is all about.
No, come on.
You don't want real answers from us. You want the funny, silly, stupid answers.
The other answer that I would give is determined on whether or not, because I don't know, we're so many question marks regarding the defensive line because we don't know what's going to happen with Joey and we don't know what's going to happen with Khalil. So if we're looking for edge players that we might potentially want to draft, or not draft, but sign in free agency, previous or current, most recent Super Bowl winning team, the Philadelphia Eagles, have Josh Sweat, edge on there. So
yeah,
a little bit more to work off of with Josh Sweat than Marlon Tuipulotu, but
no, but I want Marlon.
I know Marlon would be pretty fun.
I'm in.
So there you go, Athir, buddy. Thank you for asking the question. And we go out. I told you it was short, folks. We had 4 questions. We go out of Ask Boltfam with Tony Francis.
Tony,
who asked the question. What's up, soldiers? Not much happening this week. Free agency continues. NBA All-Star Week happened. And I listened to an epic quest in Dungeons & Dragons on the Pardon My Take podcast. My first question is directed at you, Coach. What off-season event are you most looking forward to? Draft schedule release or meeting Antonio Gates in LA at the end of the month? My next question is directed at you, Kev. Would you consider having a Dungeons & Dragons episode with all 3 of you going on some epic quest to find the lost 1963 AFL championship ring won by the Chargers? Think about it, soldiers. Seems different and weird at first, but the right dungeon master, Tim Woods, could be entertaining as f***. My last question is directed at you, Wolldog. Is there a chance you'll be attending the draft in person this year? Green Bay is not that far away. Think about it, soldier. As always, the Raiders, burn the kingdom, kick the donkeys, and suck my butt.
Do your neighbors, I wonder if they hear that last part.
I check with them on a regular basis because I never want to be the guy that's like the noisy neighbor that people have to worry and complain about.
Butt.
Sick. And I know that they've got kids, so I'm always like terrified I'm going to wake up the kids, but it hasn't happened yet, and we're going to keep going with that.
Win-win.
All right. Well, Kyle, the Coach Duggan is not here to defend himself and answer the question for you, but I think Kevin and I could probably,
I'll take a
Kevin
shot
said,
at it.
fumble our way through this.
I'll fumble my way through this first.
Yes.
I will definitely say the draft.
Yeah.
100%. Because that is the trajectory into the year. April, May, whatever it is, whenever they changed it to, I will be there for it with bells on. Maybe not in Green Bay, but I will be there with bells on.
Yeah. No, it's end of April.
Hey, that's what I thought.
And I would have to agree. I mean, especially considering this is a team that is going to rely heavily on how we draft and who we draft and what position we draft. It's a very reliant year. This isn't like, let's see what happens. Let's see what kind of guys we can pull. It's just like, no, we need this. We need a lot of these guys,
awesome
and we need that to be knocked out of the park. I am curious to see, as always, what the schedule release is going to be. Yeah. Last year we had the Sims, which was pretty damn fun.
What do they do this year?
What will they do this year? Only time will tell. But those are always fun days to watch. But the question for you, Kev.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before, but from what I've gathered, it might be perfect for our podcast because you it's choose your own adventure. You like decide what you're gonna do as you go. And
I've played.
You know what's up.
Oh, I've played.
So the goofy butthole aspect of this pod might be perfect for that.
It very well could be. And then let's see, the question for me, whether or not I would attend the draft. Yeah, boy, Green Bay would be. So Kevin and I and his wife, Josie, we went to the Chargers versus Green Bay, not this obviously last season because we didn't play them, but the season prior. And while that was a ton of fun to go to Green Bay, and I really enjoyed it, I don't think
it's a lot of work to get there.
It is a lot, dude. If there was an airport that took you into Green Bay, a little bit better.
They have like a regional airport there, but it's like so expensive. And I can't even imagine how that town is going to support a draft. Like that might be one of the coolest places to go for a draft.
Oh, totally.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that's a great idea. I'll have to check my schedule.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is Kevin and I might be busy in that April time frame.
April.
Yeah. Yeah, we might be a tad busy.
Yeah, I think I'm overseas somewhere in April.
Yeah. So we will unfortunately have to potentially decline that invitation, but we were certainly excited to see it.
But if you want to pitch a Dungeons and Dragons thing, and
pitch it, dude.
Pitch away. I don't have time to create all that and get it ready, but if I can just sit down and fumble my way through it, I'm in.
Yeah, we'll roll some dice.
I'll roll some dice so hard.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Tony, as always, for asking the question. And thank you, everybody, for asking questions and Ask Boltfam. All four of you. It is that 1 week where just absolutely nothing happens. Unless you won the Super Bowl, nothing is happening right now. So we are just waiting. Tomorrow, like I said, as this episode airs, you're probably going to hear
people
being tagged by their teams. So we'll see what that ends up being for the Chargers. But for right now, I think that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts there, Kev?
No. See you next week.
Okay. We'll run it back.
Run it back.
All right, buddy. Folks, that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
On the new reality show, Catch Me If You Can, Justin Herbert, the quarterback with an arm like no other, is looking for his next wide receiver. A roster full of talent, but only one will make the cut. Week by week, Justin's tough decisions will determine who's got the hands, speed, and skills to catch his passes and secure a spot on the Chargers. In the end, only one lucky receiver will sign the ultimate contract. Get ready for tough throws, hard cuts, and one unforgettable journey to the end zone. Who's got the speed, the moves, and the chemistry to become his next teammate? Find out on Catch Me If You Can.